So first of all, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nora, and it will be an honor to guide your practice today. The theme for this class is about finding balance. I feel that now more than ever, our minds are in continuous movement. We're either, creating plans, checking things off our to-do list, or worrying about the future. In addition, we might be working from home while helping our kids with their schoolwork, and all those things can just make us feel, like we're pulling to too many directions and can throw our balance off. Luckily, balance is a learnable skill. However, in order to improve our balance, we must challenge it. So the poses in today's class are designed to help us test our balance while forcing us to be in the present moment. And that way, they will make us feel, more steady, both physically and also emotionally. So the first mudra that we are going to incorporate for today's class is the Priti or Earth Mudra. So to practice this mudra, just bring, the tip of your thumb and your ring finger together, and just leave your other finger straight but relaxed, and rest your palms on top of your knees, palm facing up. This mudra eases stress and helps us create a sense of security by making us feel rooted, stable, and grounded. So to start our class, I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you, and feel how the earth is supporting you. Bring your attention inwards and start focusing on your breath. Take a big inhale. Sigh it out, exhale. And allow your breath to bring you back home to the truth of who you really are, to your purpose, to your higher self. Continue inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And with each exhalation, release any worries or anything else that is bringing chaos into your life, to just ease out. You don't need it for this hour, so just release it. I invite you to set up an intention for your practice or sankalpa. An intention could be to focus on a mantra or on a feeling that you want to cultivate. Whatever arises, just trust that it might be exactly what you need to keep you present, just in case your mind starts to wander. If nothing comes up, I invite you to practice with an open heart and an open mind, and to approach balancing poses in the same way that a child approaches life, with curiosity, patience, good humor, to laugh when we wobble or fall and be ready to try again, in order to find true balance off and on the mat. Let's take one round of collective breath to seal our intention. So inhale and raise your arms overhead, palms together, and now bring your intention from your mind into your heart as you sigh it out. Exhale. Release your hands to your sides. Feel free to open your eyes. Before we move into our first pose, make sure you have blocks kind of like in the right and left side of your mat, just in case you need them. And come into a tabletop position for our first pose. Cat and cow or Vitalasana. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Knees are open, hip width apart. As you inhale, drop your belly and look at the sky for cow. Exhale and round your back and look at your navel. Let's flow with our breath. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. One more. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. And now we're moving into downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. So walk your hands a few inches forward and spread your fingers wide. As you inhale, tuck your toes under, and as you exhale, send your hips towards the sky. This is the first downward dog of the practice, so feel free to bend your knees, pedal your feet, or any other type of movement that will allow you to settle into the pose. Just remember that your heels do not need to touch the ground. Once you find stillness, just find a point either at the back of your mat or the back wall and start focusing on it. This focal point is called drishti. If your mind is focused, your mind will be too. If your eyes are focused, your mind will be too. So make sure that you continue finding that focal point throughout the practice to keep you present. Let's begin to cultivate Ujjayi breath or victorious breath by sending our breath towards the back of our throat, creating a gentle and soothing sound like the sound of ocean waves. And let your breath guide you and move you through this practice. Remember that this practice is your own. So continue listening to your breath, which is the way that your body communicates with you. And come into a child's pose as many times as you need to center yourself. Next is Ragdoll or Uttanasana. So on your next inhale, bend the knees and either walk or jump your feet to the front of the mat. Your feet are hip width apart. Fold forward from your hips. Feel free to dangle your arms or sway from side to side. You can also grab opposite biceps. Just let your head hang heavy. And now, as you continue focusing on your breath, let everything that is bringing chaos into your life to roll down your spine and fall into the mat. Release your hands and very slowly, one vertebra at a time, start raising into mountain pose or Tadasana. Root into your feet, lift your arms overhead, palms are facing each other. Elongate your spine and relax your shoulders away from your ears. And continue using your breath to help you embody this pose and feel confident, grounded, balanced. As you exhale, fold forward from your hips or forward fold of Uttanasana. Fingertips are touching the ground, your head and neck are relaxed. Inhale for halfway lift or Urdhva Mukha Uttanasana. The goal of this pose is to lengthen your spine, so bend your knees as much as needed. Relax your head and neck and look at your toes. Now plant your hands and step back for a high plank. And as you exhale, push into downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale and step your right foot forward into a low lunge. Lower your left knee, but don't uncroak your toes as we move into crescent lunge or Anjaneyasana. Inhale and reach your arms overhead. Palms are facing each other and just make sure that your knee is on top or behind the ankle. As you exhale, lower your right arm either to a block or to the mat and side bend towards the left. We will stay here for 2 rounds of breath to create openness on the side body. Inhale and come back to center. Plant the hands on the mat. Lift your left knee and now step into downward facing dog. We're going to repeat the same stretch on the opposite side. So inhale your left leg high. Exhale and step your left foot forward into a low lunge. And as you inhale, rise into crescent lunge. Lift your arms up like in mountain pose. On your exhale, release your left hand either to the mat or a block and side bend towards the left. We'll stay here for 2 rounds of breath. Inhale and come back to center. Plant your hands on the mat. Lift your right knee and step into a high plank. And as you exhale, move into downward facing dog. Take a big inhale through the nose. Sigh it out, exhale. On your next inhale, bend your knees and look up. And as you exhale, either walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to mountain pose. And this time, bend the knees and draw your hips back for chair pose. As you exhale, extend the arms back for airplane arms. Let's move with our breath. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, airplane arms. One more time. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, airplane arms and hold. And for an added balance, just lift your heels off the mat for diver pose. Exhale, lower your heels and raise your arms for mountain pose on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands on the mat and step back into a high plank. And as you exhale, rise into downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale and step your right foot forward in between the hands and now rise into warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Turn your back foot flat to 90-degree angle and bend your front knee so the knee is on top or behind your ankle. Extend your arms out. And for this pose, since it's our first hip opener, feel free to straighten and bend your front knee or shorten your stance until you feel balanced. Once you do, for an added challenge, raise your front heel off the ground. Stay for the exhale, and as we inhale, we move into reverse warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. The front hand left to the sky or to the back wall, and the back hand slides either to your back leg or comes into a bind. Exhale and lower your heel. And on the inhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat and step back. Exhale and press into downward facing dog. We'll repeat the same sequence on the opposite leg. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale and step your left foot forward in between the hands. And rise into warrior two on the inhale. Extend your arms out like a capital T. Again, feel free to invite some movement until you find a comfortable stance. And once you do, lift your left heel off the mat. Leave the lower body as it is. And on the inhale, move into reverse warrior. Exhale and lower your heel down. Inhale and cascade your hands on the mat. Step back. And as you exhale, press into downward facing dog. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open mouth. Exhale. We're going to repeat the same sequence, just one breath per movement. So it's important that you move at your own pace. On the inhale, bend your knees and look up. And on the exhale, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair pose. On the exhale, airplane arms. Lift your heels up for diver pose. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands on the mat and step back. On the exhale, press into downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale and step your right foot forward in between the hands. Inhale to warrior two. On the exhale, lift your heel off the mat. And as you inhale, move into reverse warrior. Exhale, lower your heel. On the inhale, cartwheel your hands on the mat and step back. Exhale and press into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale and step your left foot forward between the hands and rise to warrior two. Exhale and lift your heel off the mat. Inhale and move into reverse warrior. Exhale, lower the heel. Inhale and cascade the hands to the mat and step back. Exhale and move into downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale and step your right foot forward in between the hands and rise into warrior two. Exhale and lift your heel. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, lower the heel. Inhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat and step back. Exhale and press into downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale and raise your left leg high. Exhale, send the left foot forward between the hands and rise into warrior two. Inhale your heel off the mat. And on the inhale, move into reverse warrior. Exhale and lower the heel. Inhale and cascade the hands to the mat. Step back. And on the exhale, press into downward facing dog. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. This is the perfect time to either move into a child's pose or take a drink of water, towel off. We will all meet in downward facing dog. When you're ready, press into downward facing dog. We're moving into the last standing sequence on the practice. So make sure that we finish strong. We're going to be performing several movements. So make sure that you don't rush. Instead of that, perform every single movement with care. So then that way you don't hurt yourself. So as you inhale, bend your knees and look up. And as you exhale, walk or jump your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to mountain pose. On the exhale, bend the knees for chair pose. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, mountain pose. And now on the exhale, lift your right knee up for one-legged mountain pose. On the exhale, very carefully, step your leg back and land into crescent lunge. Exhale and lower your knee to the mat. Inhale, lift your knee off the mat. And now move back into one-legged mountain pose. Release your feet to the mat. And as you exhale, move into chair pose. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And now open your legs as wide as the mat and move into a yogi squat or malasana. And as you inhale, raise up for mountain pose. We're going to be moving between the two poses, so there's no need that you lower all the way down. Exhale for yogi squat. Inhale, mountain pose. One more time. Exhale, yogi squat. Inhale, mountain pose. We're going to repeat the same sequence on the opposite leg. So on the exhale, move into chair pose. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, mountain pose. And on the exhale, lift your left knee off the mat for one-legged mountain pose. As you inhale, very gently step your left foot back and land into crescent lunge. Exhale, lower your knee gently to the mat. Inhale and raise your knee off, and then move back into one-legged mountain pose. Lower your foot down, and now exhale into chair pose. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Open your legs wide, and on the exhale, move into a yogi squat, malasana. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, yogi squat. One more time. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, yogi squat. Inhale, mountain pose. And lower your arms since we're moving into the balancing series. Our next pose will be revolve hand to foot pose. So make sure you have a strap handy in case you need to. I'll show you really quickly a couple variations, so then that way you can choose whatever works for you. The first variation is to lift your knee and then you straighten your leg, making sure that your foot is flexed. You can either grab a hold of your toe or use a strap. And then once you feel balanced, then you start moving your leg across your body until you feel a comfortable stretch on the hip. The other option is just to bend the knee, and then with the knee bend, you just guide your knee across your body. The other option is if you need to feel more steady, just place your hand flat on the wall, and that way, if you want to, for an added challenge, you can look at your opposite hand. So now that you know the options, choose your adventure wisely. So when you're ready, root into your right foot, lift your left knee off the mat, and either grab a hold of your toe or use a strap and stretch your leg long. If you feel like you're, falling forward, don't compromise the pose. It's better to use a strap and just keep your spine moved up. Once you feel balanced, start moving your leg across your body. The nice thing about balancing poses is that they keep us in the present moment because they require a lot of concentration. So once you're ready, release your foot down and give it a shake to the standing leg before we move into the opposite leg. So now root into your left leg, grab your toe or use a strap and extend your foot long. Remember to flex your foot. And once you feel steady, begin to move your leg across your body. And you have the option to look at your opposite hand for an added challenge. Balancing poses. It's something very interesting. It doesn't really matter if we can be standing with one foot or not. It just matters how we feel balanced emotionally and physically and mentally. So when you're ready, release your foot, strap, or toe. And give it a shake before we move into our tabletop position for our core work. We're almost done. So for our core work, to test our balance, we will be doing bird dog crunches. So when you're ready, extend your right arm to the front of the room, like if you're shaking someone's hand. Engage your core and extend your left leg long. Raise your left leg to hip level. And as you exhale, bring your elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. And this time, actually move your leg and arm out to the side for awkward airplane. On the exhale, release your hand and your knee back to the mat so we can repeat the same pose on the opposite side. So extend your left arm to the front of the room and your right leg long. Engage your core and then lift your right leg off the mat. Take a big inhale, and on the exhale, bring the elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, and this way, just extend your arm and leg out for awkward airplane. Exhale, and bring your hand and your knee back into the mat. For our next pose, we will do a pose that I think is really fun. It's called Vishnu's Couch or Sleeping Vishnu. So lay on your right side. And then Extend your legs long. Flex your feet. Make sure that your hand is in front of you and your right hand is supporting your head. This requires a lot of core strength. It's not as easy as it seems, so make sure that you engage your core, which is the key for this pose. But if you want an added challenge, you can always raise your left leg long and grab a hold of your toe. This pose is really good to balancing the root chakra. And once you balance the root chakra, it calms your mind and provides a sense of stability and security. So once you're ready, either release your toe, your strap, or leg, if you decided to try that option. If you didn't, it's not a big deal. Just switch sides. And make sure that you move your blocks with you. And I forgot to mention that you could use a strap. So if you need a strap, make sure that you have it with you for this pose. So come into your left side, rest your head on your left arm, and place your right hand in front of you. When you feel balanced, you can either bring your right hand to your hip, or again, you have the option of use a strap, or grab your toe for an added challenge. Sometimes I feel like we need to do fun things in our life. For me, that's the key to finding balance. Sometimes we're always working or just doing things from work or from our to-do list, but I try to include something fun once in a while. So when you're ready, either release your foot, toe, or strap, and come back into your belly. Roll into your belly, rest your right cheek on the mat, bring your hands by your side, and rest before we move into the unwind portion of this class. Next, we're going to do one of my favorite poses. It's called Spatula Pose. So you have the option to use one of your blocks as a pillow to rest your head. So when you're ready, extend your right arm long, palm facing down. Bring your left hand right underneath your shoulder. Press into the hand as you inhale and start rolling until you feel a comfortable stretch in your shoulder. You have the option to leave your left hand where it is, or bring it to your low back for a low bind. You can also step your left leg behind your right, just for support. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. In your next inhale, bring your left hand just underneath your shoulder and very gently start rolling into your belly. So we can repeat the same stretch on the opposite side. Bring your right hand underneath your shoulder. Rest your left cheek on the mat or a block. And start pressing on your right arm or hand in order to roll. And again, you feel free to step your right leg or your right foot over your left leg, and to leave your right hand where it is for support, or just bring it into a low bind. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. On your next inhale, bring your right hand underneath your shoulder and very gently start rolling back into your belly for our next pose, which is Crocodile Pose or Makarasana. So make sure that your left and right hand are right underneath your shoulder, and as you inhale, lift your chest up, bend your elbows, and place the elbows in front of you. Bring your forearms and the heel of your hands together, and as you exhale, rest your head on your palms. If you feel that this is bothering your lower back, start walking your hands a little bit farther forward until you feel a comfortable stretch. Inhale through your nose. Side out, exhale. Our yoga practice gives us an opportunity to embrace what it feels to live in alignment with ease, purpose, and inner strength. We can take this experience off the mat to help us recognize when we're out of balance, resisting change, or trying to control the situation, so we can course correct, breathe, and come back to center. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. And use your breath to create a sense of fluid stability. To exit the pose, start walking your elbows forward and out until you can really gently lower your chest to the mat and rest your forehead on top of your knees. On your next inhale, bend the knees and windshield wiper your legs from side to side to reset your spine. Inhale and bring your knees back to center. Exhale and lower your knees to the mat. On your next inhale, bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. And as you exhale, press into child's pose. Open your knees wide. Send your hips back. And rest your forehead on the ground. On your next inhale, walk your toes under. And as you exhale, send your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale and step your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Lower your left knee to the mat and untuck your toes for lizard pose. For this pose, you can use blocks. You can stay in tall arms, come to your forearms, or come into the edge of your right foot just for a different sensation. And remember, there are no right or wrong choices. as long as you choose whatever option is right for you. Big breath in, sigh it out, exhale. When we're energetically or emotionally out of balance, we cannot think or act clearly. When we're in alignment, we're kinder to ourselves and to others. And we're able to show up fully in everything we do, on and off the mat. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. And release anything that is pulling you out of your center. We're moving into half splits or Ardha Hanumasana. So come back into a tall arms and start sliding your right foot to the center of the mat. You can either bring your hands all the way down to the mat or use blocks. As you inhale, start straightening your front leg and send your hips back as you bow forward into your front leg. And remember to just leave a slight bend on your front knee. Take a big inhale. Sigh it out. Exhale. One of the key elements of balance is flow. Flow is the embodiment of ease and the absence of resistance. While you're in this challenging pose, continue mindfully breathing as a way to find balance between effort and ease. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, release. And find the balance between challenge and surrender. To exit this pose, begin to bend your front knee. Move your blocks to one side since we might need them again. Press into the hands. Talk your left toes. Lift your knee off the mat. And now press into the three-legged dog. Bend your right knee towards your left shoulder. just to open the hip. But if it feels better for you, you can always circle the knee a couple times. And on your next inhale, release your right foot down to repeat the same stretches on the opposite leg. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale and step your left foot forward on the outside of your left hand. Bring the right knee down to the mat on top of your toes for lizard pose. And again, you know your options. You can stay in tall arms, use your blocks. Just keep in mind that the two sides are completely different. So what you might have done on the opposite side might not necessarily be what your left leg needs. Breathe in through your nose. Sigh it out. Exhale. When you're in this difficult situation or pose, observe your breath. Our breath will tell us when we're out of balance or trying too hard in a yoga pose. So then this way we can look for a path of less resistance. Along with our breath, the sustained effort of center and recenter ourselves brings our body, thoughts, and emotions back into place. As a result, we experience peace, since equilibrium brings equanimity. Take a big inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. And continue prioritizing your breath to invite more serenity into your life. Next, we're moving into house splits. So come back into tall arms and start sliding your left foot to the center of the mat. Again, you have the option to use blocks or plant your hands on the mat as very gently start sending your hips to the back and bow forward over your front leg. And only stretch until it feels comfortable. Inhale through your nose. Sigh it out. Exhale. It is often said that how we deal with discomfort in our mat mirrors how we behave when we're challenged in real life. If we're not in balance, we tend to react rather than respond. If we tune into our breath instead and we connect it with movement, our yoga practice becomes a moving meditation that melts away the physical and mental stress and allows us to come back to our center. Big breath in, open mouth, exhale. And utilize your breath to bring balance into your body and mind. To exit the pose, start bending your front knee. Move your blocks to one side. Press into the hands. Tuck your right toes and lift your right knee off the mat. And on the exhale, push into a three-legged dog. Again, you have the option of bending your left knee towards your right shoulder to open your head, or to circle the knee a couple times if that feels better for you. And once you find enough openness, send your foot back into the mat. For our next position, come into a tabletop position. Sit your hips to one side. We're moving into wide-legged, seated forward fold. So open your legs wide as is comfortable. Since we will be holding this pose for a longer time than usual, feel free to use blocks to rest your forehead. So when you're ready, inhale your arms overhead, and as you exhale, bow forward from your hips, plant your hands on the mat, and start walking your hands forward until you feel a comfortable stretch on your hamstrings and lower back. And once you do, let gravity do all the work. Inhale through your nose. Sigh it out. Exhale. If it's available to you, fall deeper with each exhalation. When we are balanced, we align our body's center of gravity with the Earth's gravitational field. We place ourselves into a physical equilibrium with a fundamental force of nature. But we can't achieve harmony by remaining still. Instead, we must refresh our balance moment by moment. As we use our breath to come back to center, we connect with a calm and quiet place within and experience greater well-being on every level of our life. Take a big inhale, open mouth, exhale, and use your breath to surrender into this pose and allow the earth to support you. To exit the pose, start walking your hands back. Move your hips to one side. And extend or bring your legs together, I should say. And very gently grab your blocks and start lowering into your back for our next pose, which is Supta Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. So bring the soles of your feet together and open your knees wide. If this doesn't feel comfortable, you can always place blocks underneath your knees for support. This is a very soothing pose for the nervous system that invites us to rest, to surrender. Feel free to bring one of your hands to your belly and one on top of your heart. Close your eyes and soften your jaw. And as you surrender into this pose, remember that balance in our lives comes when we stop striving to control and we start desiring to surrender. With the help of your hands, bring your knees back together. Our next pose is a supine twist, so feel free to move your blocks to the side, or you can place blocks in between your ankles and your knees to keep your spine neutral. Extend your arms out like a capital T. Inhale and bring your knees into your chest, and as you exhale, very gently lower your knees to the right. You can always look at your left shoulder to deepen the stretch. Inhale and bring your knees back to center. And on the exhale, very gently lower your knees to the left. And again, you have the option to look into your right shoulder or wherever feels more comfortable for your neck. For your next inhale, bring your knees back to center and extend your legs long as we move into the final resting pose of this practice, Shavasana. Open your feet wide and bring your hands, palms facing up, as a sign that you're able and available to receive the benefits of your practice. Close your eyes, soften your jaw, let go of your Ujjayi breath, and with each exhalation, release any lingering tension, and take this opportunity as a moment to heal, to surrender, and I will awaken you when it's time. Stepping in awareness into your body by slowly moving your fingers and toes. Very gently circle your wrists and ankles. In your next inhale, stretch your arms and legs long for a full body stretch, like if you're waking up for the first time today. Bend your knees closer to your seat, and with the help of your hands, roll off to your right side. You can rest your head on the inside of your arm or on a block. And while you're in this pose, which also symbolizes rebirth, I invite you to take a moment of gratitude to yourself for making the time to come into this practice, to your body, for everything that your body was able to do and will be able to do today, to your fellow practitioners for the energy they share, for this community, for life. With eyes closed and with the help of your hands, come into a comfortable seated position. To close our class, I would like to remind you that balance is not something you find, it's something you create. In the end, the success of yoga doesn't come from our ability to perform poses, but in how it positively changes the way we live. Because finding balance in our mat will help us find balance in real life. To end our class, I invite you to bring your hands into prayer position and place them on the third eye chakra in between your eyebrows. May we have peace in our thoughts. Now place your hands on top of your lips. May we have kindness in our words. And finally, bring your hands to heart center. May we have compassion in our hearts. Thank you for allowing me to guide your practice today, bowing forward from my heart to yours. Namaste.